they will give you that warning.
Well, what is this again, Sharon?
This is the water moccasin.
Okay.
Cottonmouth. And they do have a pattern. It's hard to see when they get older because they get dark like this. But one of the ways to tell them from water snakes is these guys, like that guy's doing right there, they swim on top of the water, whereas water snakes tend to swim under the water.
Okay.
Just the head sticks up. You see how he's swimming on top of the water?
Oh yeah.
That is classic of water moccasin. So if you're on the river and you see a snake like that swimming on top of the water, that's a snake you're going to let go. Here he comes.
Whoa.
And you can see the pattern when they're a little younger that turns into this when they get older.
So a lot of bites of these around here?
We see a few.
Yeah.
They're less likely to bite. Thad knows this story and Dr. Seashell knows the story. I once took care of a patient. One of the other yard docs came and got me and said, I got a guy who's got a infection from his pet snake bite. It bit him, he's infected. So I went over there and looked, and my first clue that it was more than just an infection is the guy had fang marks on him. So one of the ways to tell whether it's a venomous bite or not is to look for fang marks. The venomous snakes, like the pit vipers, they have fangs, and they leave distinct marks instead of like rows of little needly teeth. And so this guy had fang marks on him. I'm like, well, what's your pet snake? And he said, it's a water snake that was in my shed when I was cleaning out my shed, and I was going to kill it, but it was so nice that I decided to keep it.
Oh my gosh.
And so I asked him, I said, well, what does it look like? And he said, I can do better than that. It's the wallpaper on my phone. So he pulls up his phone and he shows me a picture of his pregnant wife with the snake curled up on her belly. She's like 9 months pregnant, the snake's sitting on the belly, and then he's showing me some other things. His 2-year-old daughter, a snake around the neck of the daughter. It was this guy right here. It looked just like this. And I said to him, I got good news and bad news. The good news is you don't have an infection. The bad news is you have a water moccasin, not a water snake, for your pet. And he ended up having to get antivenom. And the wife fainted. She was pregnant at the time. She fainted. She ended up in the bed next door. And we treated him with antivenom. He did fine. He went all the way up his arm. And they actually had built this enclosure in their house for their pet snake because they loved it so much. So then they were going to get rid of it. Well, like 2 years later, which was just about 6 months ago, I saw him in Costco. And I was like, well, did you do anything else with the enclosure? He said, listen, Doc, we never got rid of the snake. We just couldn't do it. So he still has it. He just put plexiglass up, though.
We keep it in our kids' room.
And he got bit because he had always fed it live rats. And this time he had a frozen rat. And he was holding his hand in and doing this and trying to get it to eat the snake, to eat the rat. And finally the snake decided that it was irritated enough, it bit him. These guys have heat-seeking or heat-sensing pits. If you look between the eye and the nostril, you see a pit there. And that's the pit viper pit. And it senses heat, infrared heat-like signals. And so he didn't see the frozen rat, he saw the guy's hand, and so he just bit his hand thinking it was the rat.
Hi there.
But these guys, I mean, you can even step near them and they won't bite you. If you pick them up though, yeah, even if you step on them, they're uninclined to bite you. And they'll warn you, and it's very impressive. They'll open their mouth and you'll see the huge white cotton of the mouth, and they'll show you their fangs, and then if you persist, then you will be bitten.